Maureen Garcia from Texas A&M Kingsville. Today we're going to be doing a lesson on decimal places and rounding. First of all, the first number after the decimal point would be your tens place, then your hundredths place, then your thousandths place. This is the tens, this is the hundredths, and this is the thousandths. When you're rounding, the number that you want to round to, like the tens, if you want to round to the tens place, you would notice that this is the tens place, but depending on what is in the hundredths place depends on what you do to the tens spot. So, say we had 0.345. If I wanted to round to the tens place, the 5 would not even matter because we're only going to have one decimal place after the decimal as our final answer. So what the number we're going to look at is the 4, because you're always going to look at the number behind the number that you want to round to. So since we want to round to the tens place, our number is 0.3. We look at the hundredths place and it's a 4. Anything less than 5 will keep the number the same. Anything more than 5 or 5 will round this number up one number. So let's do this problem. Since this is a 4, we're going to keep this number the same. So your answer would be 0.3. If it were a 5 or more, it would change the number to one more than what it is. So that would bring the number to 0.4 as your answer. Why? Because the 6 is bigger or greater or equal to 5. That's why. So let's do another example. Okay, I want you to round to the tens place. I'll give you a minute to do that. Okay, if you said your answer was 0.6, not correct. Your answer is 0.7. Since this 7 in the hundredths place is bigger than 5, you're adding one more to the 6. Okay, let's try something else. Okay, 0.31 is 31 hundredths. So we're going to round to the tens place again. So when we're rounding to the tens place, we always look at the next number. And if this is greater than 5, we're going to add one more to the 3. But since it's a 1, our answer is 0.3. Okay, let's try something a little bit harder. Okay, now let's round to the hundredths place. That means you're going to underline the hundredths place, but then look at the thousandths place. So that means this number, the decimal, and this number will automatically stay the same. So you're going to have a 0.1. You can always bring down what's in front of the number you're going to round to. And then we're going to look at the next number after the hundredths place, which is the thousandths place. If it's greater than 5, we're going to add one more to the number we want to round to, which is 4. So since it's greater than 5, because 9 is bigger than 5, we're going to add 1 to 4, which is 5. So your answer would be 0.15. another example. Say you have a whole number in front of a decimal. Okay? Say we want to round to the nearest whole number. The whole number depends also on the next number. The decimal doesn't really matter in this case. It's the same thing as if there were no decimal behind it. So if I want to round to the ones place, this is the ones place. If I wanted to round to the ones place, we're automatically going to also look at the number behind the decimal point. Since it's a 1, our number would just be 2, and we would just drop all of this out because we're rounding, so we don't need the rest of the numbers there. 2.00 would also be the same, but it's just easier if you just drop everything behind it, and your answer would just be 2. Okay. Let's try this one. Okay, if we're going to round to the hundredths place, that's this one. What we're going to do is look at the next number, which is a 9, which will bring up this 9 to a 10, which will add the 1 here, and then this will add the 1 here. So if you wanted to round to the hundredths place, it's going to be 0 plus 1 plus 1, which would be 5.0000, or just 5. Okay, let's try this one. I want you to round to the tens place. That's this one. The first number behind the decimal. Round to the tens place. Okay, if you have noticed, the 1 is less than 5. So what we're going to do is just drop this 0, 0, 0 to nothing, just to have a 6. Because if it's less than 5, then we don't need to add anything to this number, and it stays 0. Your final answer will just be 6. Let's try rounding to the thousandths place. If you remember correctly, this is the thousandths place, which would make this the 10,000th place. So I want you to round to the thousandths place. What we could do is just bring this down, and depending on the number after the thousandths place, depends on whether or not we'll bring this number up to a 7 or just to keep it a 6. Since it's just a 4, 4 is less than 5, we're just going to keep it a 6. Why don't we try rounding this number to the hundredths place? Okay, so we can bring this down, so it'd be 1.3. And so since the thousandths place is a 6, since that's greater than 5, we're going to add 1 more to the 1. So what's 1 plus 1? 2. So your answer would then be 2. Let's keep this one going. Now we're going to round 1.32 to the tens place. That means you're going to bring this 1 down, and then look at this next number, and if this is greater than 5, or 5, we're going to add 1 to the place we want to round. Since it's only 2, we're going to bring down the 3, like as if nothing happened, and then 1.3 would be your answer. 1 3/10 would be your answer. If we want to round this to the ones place, we would also your answer would just be 1. Because 3 is less than 5, so we could just drop this half of the problem. And that's all for my lesson today. I hope you enjoyed learning about decimal places and rounding. Thanks.